7 years. He's an early bird, is that right? You meet at 7 a.m., right? 7 a.m., that's right. He's here to tell us how 3 words recently changed his life. And we're not talking about yes I can or hope and change, nothing political. This is a very personal speech. So please help me welcome Steve as he tells us about his 3 words. Steve Gunther? Sure. Why not? Sure, why not? Steve Gunther.
I'm Steve, and I have cancer. I'm here today to speak mostly to the men out there, but also to the women. You may find what I say just a little bit uncomfortable, but if you do, I think that probably just indicates all the more that you need to hear it. I didn't really expect it to be a medical convention today. While I didn't have a falling down experience, my experience is not debilitating. It wasn't a scare, it's real. But I intend to fly and soar like an eagle and overcome it, because I have hope. My journey began in late November, when I went to my doctor for a routine blood test to monitor my cholesterol. Before they came to draw the blood, the doctor said to me, "Check your PSA?" I didn't even know what a PSA was, but I said, "Sure, why not? I know we've been doing these tests for years. Results were always fine. Nothing to worry about." In retrospect, because I didn't know why he asked, but in retrospect, I think about it now, and perhaps it was because my last results were just a little bit higher than the ones before. In any case, when the results came back, they had more than doubled from a mere 4 months before. Now, in case you don't know what PSA stands for, it's prostate-specific antigen. And what it is, or what the test reflects that is the body's attempts to fight off bad stuff or infections in the male prostate gland. In any case, mine was elevated, and that's a red flag. And so the doctor's office called me and said, "Steve, you've got to go see a urologist." I did. Matter of fact, I went to see 2. I wanted a second opinion. And when I got there and spoke to them, they started saying some scary things. But they both agreed we needed to do a biopsy. Fine, I agreed. They did the biopsy, and when the results came back of the 10 samples taken, 4 indicated prostate cancer. Now, they measure these things, they have scores for them. And the scores that he told me for my case was called the Gleason score. Of my 4 results, 3 were a Gleason score of 6, which isn't too bad because it indicates slow-growing tumor. The 4th one, however, was a Gleason score 7, which indicates a faster-growing tumor. Now, that's not fast, that's just faster. Having said that, these 7s come in 2 flavors. There is the not-so-bad kind, and then there is the not-so-good kind. I was fortunate. Mine is the not-so-bad kind. So, we set myself up for treatment. And my treatment started last week. Last Friday, in fact. Yesterday, I reached my first week anniversary. Isn't that great? And this treatment, I opted, by the way, for the radiation treatment, because basically they said there's 3 ways to handle it. There's hormonal therapy, which you are not a candidate for. Then there's either, and I love the way he put it, he said you can either cook it or cut it. Okay, Doc, cook it or cut it. Well, I opted for cooking, which essentially is a radiation as opposed to surgery. So as I said, my first week anniversary yesterday. Treatment will continue on until the 7th of May. In 2007, the CDC released figures indicating that there were 223,000 men in the U.S. suffering from prostate cancer, and 29,000 of them died. Indeed, 1 in 36 men will die. 6% of any man age 60 now will come down with this within the next 10 years. There's hope, though. There's hope. There are 2 million men alive today that either have it or did have it. That's good. That's good. So why am I telling you this? Good question. I'm glad you asked. You asked such great questions. How many of you, raise your hands, saw the 2001 Darren LaCroix World Championship competition speech? Not many. What I'm interested in mostly was his acceptance speech, where he talked about it. He said, guys, get the test done. It saves lives. I have hope, because what I did and what I want you to do is, and here's a phrase Toastmasters will be familiar with, listen to it when your body speaks. We took the test, my body spoke, we listened. I hope we listened soon enough. I think we did. It's not a death sentence, but I think it's kind of a life sentence, because I will have to live with it for the rest of my life. But I have great hope for cure. Great hope. Ladies, do you have a man in your life with a life sentence waiting? When was his last test? And you fellows, you guys, is there someone important, someone dear to you in your lives that should have that test done, that might have a life sentence waiting? Maybe yourselves? When was that last test done? If you're over 40, you need to have the test done every year. So I'll just leave you with one question. It's not a trick question. I'll even give you the answer. What's the question? Check your PSA? Sure, why not? Those 3 words may have saved my life. They could save yours.